and these costs. And then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. It just lit up that boardroom. It was probably 2 in the morning. What's the difference between software and cat food? Nothing. Children don't buy the software. The mothers buy it. The mothers buy it, just like the cat food. And I said to Scott, the CFO, wait a minute, what if we just had 2 engines, one for reading and one for math, and we simply brought different characters on top of each one? It was like I was dreaming my days at Nabisco Brands. Why don't we simply fire everybody that's writing code except in the reading and math, and just add Big Brother Business, and when you start one, you become its slave. There is nothing else. There is no balance. There's just you and the business. If you're a real entrepreneur, what you strive for is success. You become myopically focused on it. There is no Saturday and Sunday anymore. There's just you and the business. Now, does anybody doubt in this room that aspires to be an entrepreneur that you will not become an absolute slave to that? Because if you don't, you won't be successful. There is no balance. There is no family. There's no wife. There's no kids. There's just the business. I often get criticized for this a lot, but it's the truth. The reason you form a partnership and create a family is so that they can cover your back while you're creating wealth. The whole reason to become an entrepreneur is to pursue the ultimate goal, freedom. Freedom. Pure, unadulterated freedom. It doesn't matter if people don't like you in that pursuit. It doesn't matter what they think about you. It just doesn't matter. Your goal should be to make that business successful. And it can be brutal. You may have started it with your best friend. You might be employing your mother, your brother, and your sister. And when things go bad, and they will, there's only one thing that matters: the business. Because it is where the heartbeat of the entire enterprise comes from. Your customers, your business matter more than any one individual. And you may have to do brutal things to be successful. And that will be the moment when you know if you're going to make it or not. If you can look your mother in the eye and say, Mom, you're fired. Being Canadians came from business, came from the private sector, not from government. Now, and I've had a chance to work all around the world. The Canadian passport is probably the most coveted document on earth. It really is. And yet, we tend to apologize for our success all of the time. We're the kinder, gentler society, and maybe that's a good thing. But we should start to take some pride in the fact that we are winners. We were incredible winners at the Olympics, and now we're starting to be incredible winners in business globally. There is no need for us to apologize to anybody. I'd like to see a little bit more of what I saw at the Olympics in every business in Canada. We have what it takes. We can win anywhere on earth. Just try and compete with us. We're happy to play the game anywhere, and we know how to win. That's what I want to see. People say, wow, those Canadians, they don't fool around. They're winners. And I think we're starting to get that reputation. Amazingly, and I don't give accolades to government very often, but recently in the financial crises all around the world, our banking system has become the most coveted on earth because we got it right. We should be very proud of that. If you travel around the world now, and you're in Germany or France or in the United United States. They're hurting. We're not. Let's take advantage of that. That's what I say. I also want to leave you with a rather interesting issue around the relationships of education and success. You know, my mother said to me when I was young, she said, as long as you stay in school, we'll pay for you. But the minute you're finished, you're on your own. You'll get nothing more. So my strategy was to stay in school as long as I could. But does that define success? I don't think so. I meet with many entrepreneurs today. Lots and lots of people have started businesses with no education, no MBAs. That's not what it's about. It's important to get an education if you can afford it, or somebody will put you through school, and I'm not against that at all. They can sit on the board of a business school. But it's not what defines success. Success is defined by being able to look at risk in the eye and say, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take a dream that I have, and I'm going to pursue it. I may fail, or I may be successful, but I'm going to start that journey. And some percentage of you in this room, no matter what your age, has that desire. And I urge you to do it because you only live once. I want to share with you something unique, because many of you have watched Dragon's Den. And I've been doing that show now for 6 years, and I've started to notice 3 attributes of a successful entrepreneur. And success being defined by did they get financed or not? Did they convince a dragon or a shark to write them a check for $500,000, whatever they were asking for? What is it about those people? Is there something common? Is there a unique and common string between them, even though they're different businesses, different markets, different ideas? Well, let me share what I think it is, because I've been witness to every single successful pitch. Number 1, are you able to articulate the idea in 90 seconds or less? Can you stand on a stage like this? If you are all dragons or sharks, could I explain to you in a minute and a half why I have an absolutely fantastic idea? And will 90% of the people get it? That skill, the ability to communicate with others, is probably what I've learned the most important attribute of business, period. And we don't teach it in business schools. It's something that can be learned. Can you get over your jitters? Can you get over your nerves? Can you actually communicate with somebody and explain your idea? That's number 1. In every single case, when I look back at the successful pitches, they got it done in 90 seconds or less. Number 2, this takes a little longer, but it's very important. If you're an investor like me, you have to separate the differences between an idea and the person that actually runs the business, that executes it. So the second challenge every entrepreneur has that wants to run the business is to explain to me as an investor why they're the right person to run it. Because very often I hear great ideas and I look at the person and say, I love your idea, I'll buy half of it from you, but I don't want you running it. I'm going to hire my own management team. The ability to articulate why you should have the chance to run the business is very hard to do. Because you have to be able to answer every question about your market, the numbers in your business, the margins, how it's going to operate, and why you, above all, and remember this goes back to a theme we talked about earlier, I look for the telltale sign that that person knows what their weaknesses are, not their strengths. And I'll often ask, what are you not good at? And if the answer is, Kevin, you don't have to worry about anything. I'm good at everything. I fire that person right away. I'll hire somebody else. That's number 2. And number 3, and this is something that I've never been able to measure or put in a bottle, but I really believe in it. When you're in the presence of a real entrepreneur, you feel a magnetic It's like an isotope sizzling. Something about that person teams success. It's an aura. How do they have it? Where do they get it from? Why does that kind of fortune shine on some and set others free? Why? What happened? I can tell you with certainty, as an investor, that's the number one attribute I look for. I don't make investments in people over the phone. I have to be in the same room with them. I have to feel it. I can almost see it. And when I talk to other investors, and particularly ones where you see every single person on Dragon's Den trying to get a piece of it, we talk afterwards. We have a drink after that shoot is over, and we say, what was it about that man or woman that gave you that amazing feeling that they would be successful? Well, I think it's karma. It's something unique. And I guess it's something you earn. Maybe it's luck. Maybe you really did have a life before. Maybe you were good to people when you were young. I don't know. But I see it every day. Some percentage of you in this room have that. Others don't. I don't know whom. But I know it exists. And if you, as an entrepreneur, think you have that, and you can articulate your idea as we talked about earlier, and you can explain to me why you should execute the plan, you will be successful. Two of these attributes you can learn. One is just fate. And isn't that why life is so